Days of this month, 10 young black and Latinos, most of them female, were reported missing in Washington, D.C. Their names are Taylor Ennis, Jacqueline Lassie, Yeshaya Enoch, Antoine Jordan, Juliana Elizabeth Otero, Deshawn Trakia Wallace, Ania McNeil, Dayana White, Talisha Coles, and Morgan Richardson. Fortunately, Metropolitan D.C. Police Department now says Taylor Ennis and Antoine Jordan have been located and are safe. But the other 8 young people, and so many more both here and around the country, remain missing. Here's a broader look at these numbers. According to the FBI, of those reported missing in 2014, the last year for which stats have been compiled, 60% were white, 37% were minority, 3% the race was unknown. Now, broken down by gender, males accounted for just over 315,000 reported missing persons, while females accounted for just over 320,000 people. Joining us via phone, Derica Wilson, CEO and founder of the Black and Missing Foundation. Derica, first of all, any information specifically about these missing young folks here in D.C.?
Well, I know that the police and our organization, we are actively looking for these missing kids. No particular information. However, we know right here in the metropolitan area that human trafficking is on the rise. A lot of people think this is happening abroad, but this is happening right here in our own backyard. And I think the numbers are staggering and alarming, to say the least.
And when we talk about this is human trafficking, I mean, people have to understand, as a part of this game, literally, you have 12, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls who are being used.
Absolutely, and the predators are being so sophisticated nowadays. They're utilizing social media to recruit these youth. And, you know, we as parents need to monitor what our children are doing. And we always encourage families to create fictitious accounts to actually see what information their children are giving out, because in so many of our cases with these missing teens around that age range, they are turning to the social media platform and putting so much information out there, and they find themselves in danger.
So when you say so much information, are you saying that with various apps which can actually show where you are at a given time, with the location on it as well, that literally predators out there can track folks and be able to snatch them up?
I'm saying as simple as telling them the problems that they have at home, as far as like with teenagers, they don't want to listen to their parents, telling them where they live, telling them what school they attend, and these people are hiding behind the screen, so they're going to tell these children exactly what they want to hear. And so they're turning to these people as a comfort, and by the time they get with them, they feel like they're so comfortable, like they're the only person that knows and understands them, not realizing the intentions of these predators.
When we look at these cases here, what often, again, it's just no surprise to you that national media pretty much hasn't done anything on these missing young folks.
It's definitely not a surprise. That's why my sister-in-law and I created the organization to bring awareness to these cases. And to say that media doesn't work is an understatement. I mean, if I may share, just yesterday, we had a missing autistic girl out of Baltimore, and we got the media coverage. We got the FBI, and working with Baltimore Police and Prince George's County Police, we were able to find this young girl who the police actually stated that they believed that it was a human trafficking situation in Laurel, Maryland. But if we didn't utilize this media platform and the cooperation of our community being vigilant and law enforcement, we would have still been looking for this young girl who had been missing since last Wednesday with autism.
And the thing that is amazing to me is that what we are seeing, that by not reporting this, pretty much if you're out there in the human trafficking business, you just have a clear runway because you're confident nobody's going to say a word.
Absolutely, but that's where our community comes in. We can't wait on the 5 and 10 o'clock news cycle. There's just so many platforms out there. We appreciate you even shining a spotlight. We've worked with you on numerous occasions regarding this. Putting this stuff on social media, getting these profiles out there. Somebody out there knows something, so we encourage you to say something if you see something, because time is of the essence.
Derica, first of all, regarding these missing young folks, also, what do you want the audience to do right now when it comes to these young girls? Do you have groups out there who are hitting the streets? Are they passing out flyers? What do you know about these missing young folks?
Well, we know the police department, they are actively seeking them, so they're putting out the information. The family involvement is important. The community involvement is important. Passing out flyers, that's something that our organization do as well. Just flooding the social media network, because it has a larger reach to get into the faces of so many. Just because they're missing out in D.C. doesn't mean they're not in New York or in Boston. I can get on the Acela train right now and be in New York in 2.5 hours. So we need people to think outside of the box. Just because they're missing from one area doesn't necessarily mean that they're not in another area. So we need people to report. We need them to look into the eyes of every person that they come across. Just like with Relisha Rudd, in my gut, I still feel that this little girl was sold. And so someone may have even altered her appearance by cutting her hair and dressing her like a boy. The point that I'm making is we need people to look into the faces. We need to continue to put these profiles out there so people will know that they're missing and report it so we can bring them home, because this is an overwhelming nightmare for the families that don't know where their loved ones are.
Wilson, we surely appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, folks, when we come back, Misty Copeland talks about